Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gene Edwards. You are watching LUBED for May the 4th, 2023. This is the Stanley Cup edition. I'm hoping this will work out fine. As the first take, I was having a lot of lag issues with my internet. So far, so good. It looks like it's working good. So before I dive into yesterday's game between the Oilers and Knights, I just want to give my quick condolences to the Klima family as the Edmonton Oiler organization lost Peter Klima, Edmonton Oiler alumni, former Edmonton Oiler player, and a very memorable one in the 1990 playoff run to the Stanley Cup. It's unfortunate. It was kind of a sudden passing and a much too young age. I believe he was 58 years old. So my heartfelt condolences go to the Klima family. He will be greatly missed. Okay, guys, let's get into last night. It wasn't pretty. I decided to, and I think I'm going to going forward, I'm going to be doing this as a recap video 24 hours later. Just because it'll allow me to collect my thoughts, gather some numbers, and really see what the issue was instead of just going off of what you and I saw on TV. I want to actually crunch some numbers, why the Oilers lost last night. So I think going forward, so Saturday's game I will do Sunday at 7 p.m. I'm going to try to do it at 7 p.m. the game, or the day after the game, just so I can collect numbers for you guys. This could have been such an amazing night for Leon Dry Seidel. Well, it was an amazing night for Leon Dry Seidel. Unfortunately, it wasn't capped with the W. A lot of sloppiness in this game, let's be honest. And I actually crunched some numbers. And you know what? As much as Leo did a good job, he was only a +1, okay? So that means, yeah, he scored 4 goals, but he was also on the ice for 4 defensive mistakes. Desharnais, Nurse, and Ceci were all -2. Stuart Skinner was a .848 save percentage. A couple of the highlights was Hyman and Nurse with 6 hits each. McDavid and Draisaitl were 24 minutes plus, so that goes on Woody's fault. Ekholm was probably the stud last night as he had 2 assists and he was a +2. But one of the biggest one was the 18-7 in giveaways. Vegas led that way. Oilers were pounding them hard, but when it came to giveaways, Vegas was able to really make the best of it and capitalize on it. It was an uncharacteristic night, so I am kind of writing it off as that. But that being said, they started looking like the team that was in December when they were having their woes. After the game, when I decided to pack it up and go to sleep, I kind of listened to 6:30 Chet Edmonton out here in Kelowna on the radio here, and I was actually surprised to hear this stat. The last time that the Edmonton Oilers won Game 1 of a series was April 26, 2017, when they beat the Anaheim Ducks 5-3. That's the very last time that the Edmonton Oilers won Game 1 of a playoff series. That's a long time ago. So obviously we know the Oilers have their woes when it comes to Game 1s. It'd be nice to see if they can break that cycle at some point in time. I think, honestly, my take from last night is they were just so excited to get to this round and be ready. And they might be pumped with some of the things that they've been seeing with the elimination of Boston and Colorado, and maybe thinking a little too far ahead. I don't know. But last night was a loss by the whole, okay? There was no, this offensive man made this big mistake or scored this many goals, or it was by the whole, including the coaching staff. I really think Woodcroft playing Draisaitl and McDavid 24 plus minutes is a formula that doesn't work. We saw it last season or 2 seasons ago with Tippett. He was the reason why the Oilers released him, and he's the reason why he obtained that job, because Tippett would try to run his big guns 26, 27 minutes, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So that, I think, was a coaching error on his part. There was a lot of factors involved in that game. A very early injury to Matthias Yanmark, which I think he's probably going to be out for the series. He looked pretty woozy as he kind of lost an edge going backwards into the boards and had enough impact to knock his helmet right off his head. He tried to get back onto his two legs, but he couldn't. So Woodcroft is supposedly gonna announce more regarding that tomorrow. But yeah, it wasn't a good night for the Oilers. That being said, I'm not too concerned. I was a little upset last night that they didn't get the win because of Draisaitl's 4-goal effort. Not only did he get a career high for his playoff goals when he scored the first goal of the night at 8. Last year he only had 7, so he's already surpassed last year's total with 8. Ended up the night with goals 8, 9, 10, and 11 on a 4-goal night. Geez, if he would have got the 5th goal, I wonder if someone would have won $1 million on the save on score, and when that'd be interesting. But I wonder if someone's got the $10,000 on that, because from what I understand, people get $10,000 if the Oilers score 4 goals. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, enough babble of that. Let's break down what we saw in the first period. I think, again, the Oilers it's a learning process. They're trying to feel out how Vegas is going to play, because LA was a much more constricted team. They didn't really allow the Oilers to breathe in the first few games. This was a lot more run and gun. And yeah, like I say, it was a very open game, I thought. Very open game. So Leo would get on the board very first, but shortly after, and this is what I think what could have been one of the factors too, Desharnais would make a horrible defensive error in his zone, and quickly the Vegas Golden Knights would catch up. So the Oilers couldn't get any momentum. Then we would see Yanmark get hurt, and now Woodcroft has to juggle the lines. And maybe that's a reason why Draisaitl McDavid did have 24 minutes, because he did lose Yanmark. But yeah, a brutal bubble. And yeah, there we go. Second period, there'd be no scoring, but the Oilers would look really good in the hit department as they were out hitting the Vegas Golden Knights 31-18, 2-1 basically. And I was really enjoying that aspect. I'm like, okay, they're really starting to wear this team down. And when you play, if this game goes 7, this team might be worn out when it's all done and said. But we go to the third period, and Leo would drag his team to a tie. However, defensive errors, and the Vegas Golden Knights would go up by 2, and basically that's all she wrote. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because this was a night that Leo could have, well, he had a spectacular night. He would have been my X factor for the night 100% if they would have won. But the X factor is based on why did this outcome happen. It's not based on who was great or who was, It's why did this game happen that way? And I'm going to get into that right now.
Richardson to McGinnis, he just scores! The Edmonton Oilers have tied the game!
Here are your Edmonton Oilers X Factors for tonight.
Okay, so my X Factor reveal is defensive breakdowns. Too many defensive breakdowns. Now, this is from the offense to the defense. I would like to say Woody too, but honestly, Woody was also down a man in Matthias, so that kind of had to change his philosophy of thinking of coaching. But a lot of defensive breakdowns. Offensive zone defensive breakdowns, defensive zone. I mean, 18-7 in takeaways is a huge number, okay? That's more than double. So that is something that the Oilers need to clean up and address. And I wonder if, Desharnais's made a few mistakes in these playoffs, if he's going to become that liability where he may not get as many minutes now. I hope not, because he is that big body, and I think he is that big factor. But yeah, unfortunately, it was defensive breakdowns that spoiled the party for Leo. Okay, guys, let's get into the Tim Hortons reveal. And got my pack here. There it is. Once again, I do this every episode going forward throughout the playoffs. Just a little fun little thing to do. I'm actually considering buying for next season a box of Upper Deck, and I will do maybe reveals every game night. All right. We start off with Mr. Timo Solani. And they got him in the Winnipeg jersey too, which is quite awesome. So yes, Timo Solani. Manon Rhéaume, the only female goalie to ever play an NHL preseason game. She actually played with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't know if it says on the back here when she did. No, it doesn't really say it, but yeah, she is the only one to ever suit up in an NHL game. And then Doug Gilmour for the Toronto Maple Leafs, as they lost again tonight to the Florida Panthers. And I actually called it to my brother that they were going to lose that game tonight. And I'm also calling that Dallas will win win tonight to even up the series with Seattle. But we'll see what happens there. So there you have it, guys. That is the Tim Hortons reveal. My final thoughts. Oilers will get better. Oilers will get better. That was honestly a one-off. I'm not too overly concerned. I do hope that they get this game on Saturday. And I guess to add to my final thoughts, I hope the NHL can figure out their, you know what I mean? Because apparently there was a big mess up with the scheduling, because this Game 2 was supposed to be Friday, then it got shuffled to Saturday, which all these people that made plans to fly down to Vegas for that weekend, then maybe fly back home on Saturday, now are getting screwed out of their tickets maybe, or screwed out of their flight or something, having to scramble to make their travel arrangements. So the NHL needs to become better and not so... That's a bad look for them when they're changing it like that on the fly like that. It's a real bad look. It's been getting a lot of attention. So that's my final thought. I hope that the NHL can work out their differences. They want to build this game. They can't have that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter if you're trying to hit that U.S. market and trying to flood the markets. All that work goes down the drain when you make amateur mistakes like that. So that's my final thought for tonight. And I'll leave it at that. Those of you who are witnessing this for the very first time and like the content that I bring, feel free to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And I will do these recaps now 24 hours about after the game. This way, it doesn't just get out my raw emotion, and I sometimes might get a little frustrated. So anyway, I'm going to be doing it 24 hours. This way I can do some number crunching for you guys, and I'll bring down the reasons what happened. As for the rest of you guys, as always, stay healthy, stay happy, stay hydrated. We will talk soon. You have yourselves a great night.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. Ha! Have no regrets, yeah, I'll